So, Thomas, you are my first interview guest on this channel, and I invited you because you were one of the first people who actually dropped me a comment. I think it was on my video, The Only Moment in Time That Exists Is Now. And so, yeah, you draw my attention. So welcome.
Hi, Carl. Nice to meet you, and thanks for inviting me here. And yes, I remember it was I was doing also a video about time or about something similar, and I think that's why you showed up in my timeline, so in my feed. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Okay, so you seem to be quite an interesting guy. That's why I invited you, because you have like an alternative model of living. And you're also implementing your multiversal theory in this. So you're living your own theory. So maybe you want to talk about yourself and where are you living now? What have you done before? And what do you do for your living?
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure who quoted this, but there was some guy who said that when you're doing philosophy, the best way to do it is like to live according to your theory or to your mindset, and I really imply that kind of. So, but the thing is, it's not that far away from anything else. So it's like, it maybe sounds really like alternative living, but it's not actually.
So yeah. For you, it's not, but still, as I understood, you left your home country and you moved to another continent. I mean, that's already something.
That's true. I come from Austria originally, and I lived in the capital, Vienna, for like the first 35, 36 years of my life. And then I decided to move to, actually initially to Bali, but I also stay in other cities. Currently, I'm in Kuala Lumpur, which is a really good place if you want to focus and do business and focus on work. So Bali is more the relaxed place with holiday vibes and very distractive. So yeah, I kind of like try to, or let's say it like that, I stay where it like matches best to what my intentions are.
So first you decided to have a holiday life on Bali, and now you're more into business. Is that what you're saying?
No, it wasn't like that in the beginning, but this was like kind of like an insight I had according to the years, that it's like, if you wanna do laser focus and want to achieve things, it's better to be in a business
because of the atmosphere. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I think that matters much more than many people think, the environment you are in.
So when there is a beach like on Bali, you rather go surfing than you do your work, right? And if you live in a big city,
I moved there because it's just beautiful, and it is very inspiring culturally, and I also worked there, but I went there because it's just a beautiful place, and it was like the most interesting, attractive place to live for me at that time. So I decided to go there.
So how do you set up your life when you start from nothing in a new continent? So you're arriving at Bali, and then what? I mean, you rather not live in a hotel because it's too expensive, right?
In Bali, it's like all kinds of budgets are possible there. So you could actually live in hotels. I lived a lot in hotels in the last 5-6 years, but so you either you book an Airbnb or you book an apartment locally. You can find, like on the Facebook marketplace. It depends on the country. So in Bali, there it's quite practical to use the Facebook marketplace, but you could also book on Airbnb or on the booking platforms. Yeah.
So it's pretty simple to find a place to stay, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, nowadays, I think the digital nomadism has become a pretty common way of living, or at least much more people are doing it than like compared to 15 years ago or 20 years ago. So I think in very many places the economy like adapted to it and is offering that. So and Bali is famous for digital nomads. So and it's also like one of the #1 tourist hotspots. So they have always been very open for people coming from abroad. And so yeah, Bali is a, I would say, a pretty good place to start it, because it has a very Western, or has a very international how do you say, infrastructure. You have everything you would find also in the US or in
so you
Europe.
got internet and McDonald's and all that stuff, or okay.
You also have the McDonald's and Starbucks and all that stuff, but you can also avoid it because you have very good other options too. So
I see. So on your YouTube channel, I saw a couple of music videos as well. So you're also a musician?
Yes. So I actually do 3 things, and these three things are philosophy, music production, and I'm also a startup founder. I have an AI startup, and these are my 3 pillars of career. And yeah, I'm crazy enough not to give up on any of these things, because I kind of like love what I do in all of these 3 branches. So I do all 3 things, and that's why I don't have any time for anything else. So, but yeah, you gotta
same with me.
sacrifice
I have different jobs as well, because I would totally get bored if I just did one thing all the time.
Oh yeah, you're an architect, right?
I'm an architect. I'm also a teacher at a university, and I'm doing this YouTube channel. Also did some music in my life. I did ceramics, so basically lots of stuff. And like every few years, there's kind of a new hobby coming into my life, or some new things that I'm interested in. And I think it's a good thing. So you don't get stuck if you try something new all the time.
Yeah, nice. Sounds good. Yeah, I need that too. Some people are happy with doing just one thing their whole life. Some people need something new. It's yeah.
So how is life in Kuala Lumpur different than in Bali? I mean, except that it's a big city, but how has your life actually changed? Well, what has changed within you? Let's put it that way.
So compared to Bali, it's I would say, I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean it actually in a positive way. But it's so compared to Bali, Kuala Lumpur is kind of like a boring mega city, which is not true. It's not boring at all. You can do anything here. But the thing is, to be honest, Kuala Lumpur is very, as I said, very business focused. And it's also, it's almost asexual, especially compared to a holiday place like Bali.
Okay.
You know, where you have
no naked people. Yeah.
You know, in Bali you have clubs everywhere. You have beaches with people half naked, and everyone's. You know, it's like, and it's much more like a tourist place. You know, it's much more sexualized. And Kuala Lumpur is a very business focused. You don't see any ads, or hardly any ads actually, and you don't see any people who wear like, the only people who wear short clothes are tourists. And the women, they don't dress sexy here. Maybe in the bars at night, but I don't go there because I do work. But it's like,
but you live like a monk now, or what?
Kind of, yes, because I really come here to focus on the work, and it's really good here because you can focus. There is no distraction here.
So it takes a lot of discipline to live a life without any partying, especially when you've been living on Bali before, where you get used to, like, let's say, half-naked women and bars and parties every night. And now it's like just the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, in Bali, you need the discipline. If you want to achieve things in Bali, you need very strong discipline, because it's so distracting in so many ways. You have amazing nature. You have parties all the time. you have a crazy dating life there because it's like Bali, I think, is the world's #1 place where all the people between 18 and 35 go for holidays. And let's be honest, everybody wants to get laid on their holidays.
So the whole island is a big orgy, basically.
There's a lot of things happening there. It can be really crazy there, and everything is like at your, how do you say, everything is available immediately. You know, if you decide you want to party, you just go to the next party, and it's 15 minutes away.
So does this make partying boring over time if you can have it every day?
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah. You can. It's really crazy. Bali is a crazy place, but at the same time, you have the most beautiful nature there. If you go a bit away from the beaten track of tourism, you have the most amazing nature, and then you have the amazing Hindu culture. And in Bali, every Balinese person is an artist. I'm not sure if you know that, but the Balinese is a very special culture. It goes too far to explain why. I have a very good friend who is Balinese, and he told me all the reasons and everything.
But like, what do you mean everyone is an artist? So like everyone does paint or is a musician?
It's literally true. And either they are musicians, they have their own gamelan music. They have theater, they have dance, they have fine art, painting, they have wood carving. They do any kind of art, and every Balinese person at least practices one kind of art. Most of them even 2 or 3. Wow. So, for example, the Sutejai, he's one of my best friends. He's a Balinese, and he showed me someday pictures where he has like a makeup that makes him look almost like a woman. And I thought, is he like kind of like, does he have like trans tendencies or whatever? No, it's a cultural theater makeup.
I guess
he plays theater.
Well, in European theaters, men would play women as well, like 100 of years ago or something. Women were not allowed to play on stage, right, for a long time.
Now that you say it, I think I heard that too. Yeah, and they still do that. It's all very traditional. So and like their gamelan music is amazing to me. I'm a very audiophile person. I could listen to it for hours. It's a very different kind of music. It has a different tuning and different rhythms than European music. And so all of these things happen there. And then you can go surfing, which is one of my sports passions. I started it when I was there.
So you're a good surfer now?
Actually, to be honest, I didn't go surfing for the last year because I was really focused on my startups, and then I had some accidents last year, so I couldn't really do anything. But I was pretty good. I was, I would say, intermediate.
Okay.
Close to achieving my goal of doing a barrel.
I tried it a couple of times, but I sucked. Really, I almost died. Like I always drowned.
It's a brutal sport. It's brutal. Yeah, but if you keep doing it, you can improve pretty fast. So
okay. Yeah.
I was really going like every day or every second day for like 2 or 3 years, and then you get better.
Yeah, I see. But it takes a long time, right? So being a good surfer takes a very long time, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's the really good surfers, that is like these guys are admirable. So really cool what they do, of course.
So one time
you have different skill sets and different beaches with different breaks. Yeah. And then you have reefs, and there's more dangerous spots and there's more easy spots, and so it's a pretty it's a science within itself. So yeah.
So it's easier to learn when you have like good waves, I guess.
Yeah, and in Bali you have all kinds of waves, and where I stayed in Canggu, which is like the hyped place right now, also there's like a very good beginner wave, and it's like a perfect place to start there, and it's totally safe. And most of the years you have good waves, not too big, not too small there.
I see.
So it was ideal. And when you do it like every day for a couple of months, you get pretty good pretty fast.
Yeah.
So
okay, are you missing surfing now? I mean, I don't know, is there an ocean at Kuala Lumpur? I haven't checked it on the map.
no, it's like I think it's like an hour drive away.
Yeah, thought so. Okay, but
yeah,
I mean, like, do you miss the ocean? Do you still go there from time to time?
I don't really miss it, but sometimes on Instagram I get some surf videos, and I really think like, oh my gosh, I would love to be there now.
Same with me with skiing, except skiing there's no more snow. So.
Oh yeah, that's like a thing that changed a lot in Austria, right?
It did, right? So, do you have any friends where you're living? So, what's your social life in KL?
That's the thing. When you live like I do in the last years, it's kind of hard to maintain friendships, because I change my spot pretty often where I live, so every few months. And then in Bali, you have the problem that everybody's there on holidays, and there's some people who live there long term, but yeah. So
you can spend.
Overall,
it's easy to like spend one night or 2 nights with some guys, but then they leave a week later, and so.
Absolutely,
yeah.
it totally happened to me that I had like close people that I spent a few weeks with, like met them 3 times a week, and then they move, or they go to South America, or they go to the US or back to Europe. Yeah.
So, but are there many Western people living in KL, or are you like?
In KL, not so many. In Bali, there is far more.
Yeah, I guess so.
KL has some expats, yes, but I'm not really socializing a lot the last weeks, because I'm really like focused on the business, and a lot of it is happening on Zoom calls, and
so you're not feeling alone?
Yeah, I think everybody who works really hard will make, or who really makes sacrifices, like I do it the last few months. I really sacrifice everything for getting closer to achieve the things I want to achieve in life. And then you have to sacrifice things. There's no way around that.
You can't do everything at once, I know.
Yeah, I just don't want to take the time at the moment to go have a beer with people, make friends. It's not the right time for me.
I see. Yeah.
So I'm kind of lonely. You could say that, definitely. I don't meet many people here, except the guy at 7-Eleven where I buy my groceries.
Yeah, but they're mostly funny guys, right? The 7-Eleven guys.
Yeah, it's cool. And then in the cafes, it's not like I'm completely alone, but yeah, at the moment I'm not socializing a lot, but it's not like I'm fine with it. I have never been like a very extroverted guy, Even in Austria, I don't know. I am fine with staying with myself.
I see.
I think there's like people that cannot be alone. They get like anxieties when they're alone, or they get depressed. But for me, it's like very delightful.
I think most people can't be alone. I know many people that haven't been alone for even a couple of days in the last 20 years. So they get married early, or they would all live together with others, and they never lived on their own. I know many people who never lived on their own.
Even have relationships for that reason alone. They don't. They just don't want to be alone. If they quit with somebody, then a week later they have a new relationship.
Yeah, because they cannot confront themselves with themselves.
Yeah. I don't know why, but some people or many people are like that. I don't want to judge it. It's like everyone's own decision. But for me, it's like I'm really happy with being alone, because like most of the things that I love doing, like writing and making music. Making music, you play in bands, which is very much fun. But like when you produce music or you write songs, this is something I do by myself. And then writing, of course, you need to focus on your own. And
speaking of writing, you have an upcoming book. So maybe you want to talk about your book. What is the book about?
Yes, my book. It's called Theory of Interaction: Philosophy for the Multiverse, and this is actually it's called, I was always interested in philosophy since I was like a teenager, and like smoking weed and talking about the universe and everything with my friends, and stuff like that. And then like actually in my early 20s actually, I was like thinking about explaining things about life, about existence, that I didn't find any scientific explanations, any books about, just from observing reality, observing people. And then I tried to find my own explanations. And then this got kind of like a wormhole or a rabbit hole. And then in the end, I had an ontology. Ontology stands for, it's actually an explanation of what existence is, what reality is, what are the what is the base of reality, what is it all, that's an ontology said in philosophical terms. And that was what I ended up with. And then I wrote it down, and it felt like when I was like 23, 24, it felt like it really made my head smoke. It felt like achieving something in a way of thinking in a new way for myself.
Yeah, and can be pretty overwhelming.
Sorry?
Can be pretty overwhelming to
it was something like a very different puzzle for me to solve. And then I wrote it down.
But you solved it yourself, because I was looking for answers everywhere, in science, in philosophy, in psychology, like in Eastern culture. Many people have been thinking about the big questions in life, and they have been doing it for thousands of years. So there is answers everywhere, but most of the answers might not work for you. So you answered these questions by yourself. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I was also reading a lot and everything, and there were some things that were not satisfying enough for me, and so I just tried to find my own answers. And it is still sometimes, we are like, our mindsets and is very much designed by what we consumed, of course, by the books we have read, by the media we consume. And like most people actually just produce what they read in the news. And we are all like that. This is how our
so most of our identity comes from the outside, which is actually wrong, because you have to create your own identity, and that needs to come from the inside. But you need to get to this point first.
Yeah, and yes. So what should I say? So some of the answers I didn't feel I got from other books, and I wasn't really 100% satisfied. So I tried to spin down my own thoughts to the very base, to go down to the roots of all of these thoughts, because every thought you can follow, and then you follow as long as you can. And in the end was actually a very simple philosophy. And at the same time, what concluded out of that philosophy is actually that is an interpretation of reality, which is actually a multiverse. And of course, there are other multiverse theories, and this is like, even in Hinduism there has been multiverse theories. And the most famous in modern physics is Everett's many worlds theory, which is an interpretation of quantum mechanics. And so the thing is, what I made a bit different is that I call it the interactive multiverse, because my philosophy is based actually on interaction. So the root of all existence is interaction, and without interaction, without interacting with anything, nothing can exist. So this is what I realized for myself, and maybe if you think about it, you will agree with me or not, or whatever.
I do.
But So so what concluded to me was one important thing is there is only subjective reality. There is no objective reality possible for the simple reason that everything in order to exist needs to interact. And for something to be objective, it needs to be verified by everything else when you go to the extreme. And if you have everything else, what could it actually verify? There's nothing left. So that's actually a very simple explanation for me that made me conclude there is no objective reality. There is intersubjective reality, of course, but that's a different kind of story. And I have like arguments on YouTube on these things, and people are getting really angry about me and like saying bad words to me and whatever. It's really funny.
Like other philosophers, or what? Or what kind of people?
Yeah, there are like some very good people like bringing other ideas in, but the people who are actually attacking me, they never bring arguments. They just insult me. And it's really funny.
That's usually it's like in politics, everyone is complaining, but no one is
having a better solution, right?
Right.
Proposing something better. It's really interesting. So, but to the point, to me, we exist in an interactive multiverse, which is different to the multiverse theories in physics, because I pointed down to consciousness, and it is a multiverse of subjective realities. That's like in the nutshell, in the very short explanation of what it is, and that is what the book is about. And it's coming out. It's available from 5th of April. 2025 in German and English. And if you want to read more, you can check it out.
We pin all the links down in the description, like link to the book, link to your website, to your YouTube channel, and so on. So you can check out everything about Tommy Multiverse down in the description. So
Tommy Multiverse is my alter ego. I use it because of that philosophy. And I also use it as a musician, as my artist name. I have two artist names, but it's one of my artist names. Also on Instagram, I'm called Tommy Multiverse, and you find it everywhere. Yeah.
So each of these lives, so to say, is one of your multiverses you're talking about, basically.
Sorry,
So each of these persons, or these artistic persons that create for yourself, your alter egos, as you said. So each one of these persons is a multiverse, so to say.
Oh, that's how you.
I don't know. It's like that's the idea. You change yourself.
No, it's I wouldn't say it like that. These are like, I mean, in a way, you could argue that. Actually, that's an interesting standpoint. I don't really see it that way. I called myself Tommy Multiverse on my Instagram because I needed a name when I signed up on Instagram. So, and then I used it as an artist name because it's in alignment with my philosophy, but I wouldn't say it's like a different person. It's me. It's just a different name for me.
Yeah.
But of course, it's a different identity. And people who know me as Thomas Hindel, which is my original name, they will have a different image of myself compared to the people who know me as Tommy Multiverse, who met me in Bali and connected with me on Instagram. Because the funny thing is, people started calling me Tommy in Bali, and nobody in Austria ever told me Tommy. Everybody called me Thomas or Tom, like my friends. And I was thinking, why? And then I realized that, oh, wait, it's my Instagram account. And you connect with people on Instagram, so you have their contacts.
Yeah.
They started calling me Tommy. And then this is how actually transcendence reminded me of what I created of myself, kind of. Because the people started calling me like I called myself without realizing it, that I'm creating that identity. Yeah, so in a way, you're kind of right.
Yeah, you have to be careful with all that, what you post on social media and your names and stuff.
Yeah, well, if you're, I am doing my best to be 100% authentic. And I think when you're authentic, that gives you the power to, you don't need to worry about that. And people who are going to hate on you because you're authentic, they can fuck off. That's how I see it. Very simple. You know, if they don't like you, how you are, okay, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to change because of somebody who is not happy with how I behave or am. So.
Yeah. Okay, well then, so you told me you're working a lot. So what are your future plans? And where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know it's a stupid question, but still. Are you thinking about your future, or you just like live your life, or?
Yeah. No, I have always been like goal oriented, and you know, I know there's different approaches to life, right? Some people say don't desire anything and then be amazed by what the world gives you. I have always been, I don't know, always like target oriented. I always wanted to reach things, and so this is how I still am, and this is how I design my life. And in 5 years from now, oh my gosh.
Do you want to have family, kids? I mean, so we're both around the same age, and we are we should, like, if we want to have family, it should happen better sooner than later, right? When you're in your 40s, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, definitely. I am open for having a family. I think it's an important experience and a beautiful experience that I wanna have in my life. Definitely, yes.
And could you imagine like to live with your family in KL or on Bali, or would you like go somewhere else when you have kids?
I think I think Bali is. I'm always gonna be spending time in Bali because it's really gotten something like a second home for me. But I also will spend time in Europe. I still love Austria and the landscapes of Austria. I love Vienna. It's a very beautiful city, and but I think my lifestyle will stay like it is. Maybe a bit less high frequent changing spots of living, because at the moment I'm moving every 2 or 3 months to a different country.
Oh, that's exhausting. Where you go next?
It is exhausting. Huh?
Where are you going next? Where will you go next?
I will go to Bali because my brother is actually coming for his holidays.
Okay. So
yeah.
And excuse me. Then you will have the beaches and the partying again.
Probably not the party, but we will definitely go to the beach. Maybe some surfing. Maybe some going to the enjoy the nature there.
Yeah.
That's gonna be more centered.
So it will also be like a holiday for you a little bit.
A bit, yeah. I really want to go to Ubud, to a spa in the jungle, and enjoy it for a couple of days. Do nothing. Yeah.
Did you try scuba diving? Actually, are you a scuba diver?
I did, yes, but I didn't do it for a long time. I did it. I was scuba diving in Egypt and in Jordan, and like very long time ago in Thailand. But never in Bali.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Thomas. So time is almost running out. Thank you very much for the talk.
Sure.
Yeah. So you've been my first guest, and I'll probably hear from you like in a year or so and see what happens in the meantime.
It was really interesting. It was a cool talk. I always have the feeling I talk too much. You didn't talk a lot.
No. I think it was very entertaining to see your model of philosophy and your model of lifestyle. Very inspiring, especially for someone like me. I mean, I did lots of traveling, but I was living here all the time. So I never actually lived somewhere else. This is something I would like to do somewhere in the future. So it's always good to listen to people's experiences so you can learn from them.
I can only recommend it. So it's really helps you to, it gives you new perspectives on life.
Yeah.
When you dive into different cultures more than you do maybe on holidays. So I don't regret a thing. It's not always easy, but yeah, it's and it's not that much of a big step. You just need to do it, and
you just need to do it, right? Yeah, buy a
yeah,
flight ticket,
maybe
book and
maybe be
place, and that's
prepared.
it. Yeah.
Be prepared so that you don't like run out of money after 2 months or something, and you maybe prepared something so you have an income already, because when you don't have that and you have to build all of that while you are establishing somewhere, it's difficult. But it works. And especially if you think, if you have to do a thing, if something has to work, that's also helping sometimes, because then you have to make it possible.
So
that
people
can do wonders.
work best under stress, right?
Yeah, I don't know why, but this really helps sometimes.
Yeah, it's a survival mechanism, I guess. So
Probably.
you need to move your ass. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Thomas. So thanks a lot for being here. And
Yeah, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. Thank you for talking and inviting me.
Yeah, and talk to you soon. Bye.